No mai, haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. It's the outcome nobody wanted. That was how police described their fatal shooting early this morning of Tom Phillips and the critical gunshot injury suffered by one of their officers. The Marokopa father had been on the run in the bush with his 3 children, Jayda, Maverick and Ember, for almost 4 years. After a police search all day, all 3 are now safe in police custody. Police say Phillips was spotted overnight with one of his daughters committing a burglary at the PGG Wrightson store in Pio. As he fled down Te Anga Road towards Marokopa, a police officer laid spikes, stopping his quad bike. Police said that as the lone officer got out of his car, he was shot in the head with a high-powered rifle and took cover. A second police car arrived and an officer shot Tom Phillips. Despite efforts to save him, he died at the scene. The child with Phillips cooperated with police, helping to locate their siblings. Now, police have just held a press conference. Here is what Acting Deputy Commissioner Jill Rogers had to say.
I can tell you with great relief this evening that soon after 4:30 today, we've located Tom Phillips' remaining children. They've been found in a campsite not far from here, further up the Te Anga Road, and they are with police officers now and being removed from that location. I can confirm that the children are well and uninjured, and they will be taken to a location this evening for medical checks. I want to acknowledge the people who've worked on the ground today and those that have been part of this difficult and taxing investigation for the 4 years that Tom Phillips and his children have remained outstanding. I have with me this evening Detective Senior Sergeant Andy Saunders, who has led this investigation, and acknowledge the complexity and the difficult circumstances in which we have had to investigate this matter. Today's outcome is not the one that we wanted. Our thoughts are with all of those involved, and especially our injured colleague who still remains in surgery in Waikato Hospital. I can confirm that Commissioner Chambers is on his way back from Melbourne this evening, and he will be on the ground here in the Waikato first thing tomorrow morning. I can also confirm that the scene where the children were located will be guarded overnight, and a full forensic examination will form part of our investigative work in the days to come. Thank you.
That is Acting Deputy Police Commissioner Jill Rogers there. So that is the latest from the police just a few minutes ago. Adam Hollingworth has attended all 3 of today's media conferences. Here is his report on how the day unfolded.
Images from the air show the deadly development in a saga that's gripped New Zealand for almost 4 years. The body of a man police believe his fugitive father, Tom Phillips, lies on a rural road near a quad bike.
This has been the outcome that no one wanted today.
A stationary police car is riddled with bullet holes. Its doors are open. Multiple guns can be seen lying on the road. It's a scene where a young girl was present as her father shot a police officer before himself being shot dead.
This has been a deeply traumatic incident this morning for those involved. It has been confronting and challenging in a small, rural, isolated location.
The sequence of events had begun here in the middle of the night. A member of the public reported a suspected burglary at this store in Pio. It led to what police say was officer intuition, correctly predicting the route of the quad bike out of town and stopping it with road spikes. But things soon took a tragic twist.
The first attending police officer at that scene has come across that stopped quad bike and been confronted by gunfire at close range. Our officer has been struck in the head. He's immediately fallen to the ground and taken cover. We've located multiple firearms, and we know that our officer was shot with a high-powered rifle. Soon after, a second patrol unit arrived and has engaged the offender, and he has died at the scene. The formal identification of this male is yet to take place, but we believe him to be Tom Phillips.
Questions were asked about the welfare and state of mind of the child who was at the scene.
At this stage, they are with police staff and oranga tamariki.
The next urgent focus was the remaining 2 children. Were they alone in the bush or were they with someone else? Police have long suspected the family had supporters helping them out. Police held a second media conference this afternoon in Waitomo and said the daughter who'd been at the scene had given them a rough area to search to find her siblings. Acting Deputy Commissioner Jill Rogers also had an update on the condition of the shot constable.
He's commenced the first of many surgeries. He's gone back in for further surgery this afternoon on the injuries to his eye, and he will remain in Waikato Hospital for some time to come, having those injuries tended to.
As I was being briefed, the officer who was shot was being operated on in Waikato Hospital. This is a constable who was out looking after his community, and what's happened is a reminder that police put themselves on the line every time, every day they put on that uniform to keep our community safe.
The mother of the 3 children, Kat, has yet to be reunited with her daughter, but told RNZ's Mata, "First and foremost, we are deeply relieved that for our tamariki, this ordeal has come to an end. We are looking forward to welcoming them home with love and care. As a whānau, we are now attempting to work in cooperation with the relevant government agencies to support the safe return and reconnection of our tamariki." Before he fled into the bush, motivated, police believe, by a bitter custody battle, Tom Phillips and his children called Otorohanga home. District Mayor Max Baxter knows the wider Phillips family well and has described them as wonderful, but he knows there will be mixed reactions and mixed emotions to today's news.
Probably the relief for the children's sake, yes, but probably more asking why this had to happen in this particular way.
As police mentioned more than once today, this was the outcome nobody wanted.
Well, Adam Hollingworth joins us now. Adam, a huge relief tonight as far as the kids being found goes.
Yes, relief was one of the first words used by the police officer as they were explaining the situation at 4:30. I also saw plenty of police officers hugging each other. There were 50 people involved in this search over the last 3 hours. We'd seen the helicopter going up quite a lot, and there were members of the AOS. They were worried that there would be some sort of confrontation similar to what happened this morning. They knew that there were multiple guns at the scene down where they found Tom Phillips' body. They couldn't be certain that there weren't guns at the scene where they actually found the children. It looks like that the information provided by the 3rd child led them to this remote site up in the hills here where they found these children, and it appears that they have handed themselves in without any conflict. So the focus now is on rehabilitating these 3 children after the last 4 years of them being out of contact with their family, out of contact with their friends, and they're hoping that they can be rehabilitated.
Adam Hollingworth there live from Waitomo at the police cordon there. Well, our senior reporter Tony Wall has been covering this story and has visited Marokopa several times, including most recently in the last few weeks. He went back there to talk to locals about today's shocking news, and he filed this report.
I'm here in Marokopa. There's a real sadness settled in over the community here at the news that Tom Phillips has been shot dead. Nobody wanted it to end this way, obviously. It's ended the worst possible way. I spoke briefly to Neville Phillips, Tom's father. He was out working on the farm actually, driving a quad bike with his other son Ben, and they were driving along the main road, Marokopa Road, between properties. He was pretty angry. He was angry with the media for all the intrusion, and he was angry with the police. He said, you don't know what it's like to be shafted several times by the police. Put yourself in our shoes. So not happy, obviously, a terrible time for their family. Locals here, they feel sad that it's come to this. Spoke to one woman who said that it's almost felt inevitable that it would end this way, just because Tom obviously just didn't want to give himself up, and it had gone on for so long.
You know, what was the outcome ever going to be? Because he wouldn't give up, he wouldn't come out. So he obviously felt he had no other way to deal with it.
Sad?
Sad, yeah it is.
Do you wish it had ended peacefully?
I wish it had, yeah. You know, there was no easy way of settling it. I mean, as I say, I didn't know their story. But you've got to remember these 3 children involved. You know, and then I feel sorry for his family.
And another man we spoke to said that if you're going to point guns at the police and shoot at the police, this is the kind of outcome you're going to get. It's what you can expect.
I think he mucked up. He shouldn't have fired a shot, you know. If you fire at the police, they're going to shoot back, you know. I'd as soon have seen him alive rather than be shot.
Were you a bit upset when you heard?
Yeah, I was a little bit upset when I heard, yeah. You know, that he'd been shot because he's got 3 kids, you know, and they've been with him all this time and makes it harder.
It's not the outcome that anyone wanted, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, nobody wants to end up like that.
Everybody's very sad and, yeah, just reflecting on the last 4 years.
Tony Wall there with that report. Well, for almost 4 years, Tom Phillips evaded police after disappearing with his 3 children into the Waikato bush. Ava Whitworth looks back at the key events that led to today's fatal shooting and the race to bring the children out.
It began in September 2021 when Tom Phillips vanished with his children, Jayda, now 12, Maverick, 10 and Ember, 9. His ute was parked on the beach at Marokopa, leading searchers in boats and helicopters to scour the coastline. After 12 days, the expensive search was called off. 5 days later, they returned home, with Phillips claiming they'd just been camping in the nearby bush, unaware of the fuss.
I was worrying about the kids. I wasn't worrying about Tom. I was worrying about the kids.
He was charged with wasting police resources and was due to appear in court in January 2022. But on December 9, they disappeared again. And when he missed his court date, a warrant was issued for his arrest. The following month, Phillips entered a family member's home to take supplies. He reassured relatives the children were safe, but never revealed where they were living. After that, the family remained off-grid for well over a year.
Come home, bro. It's all good. Bring the babies home.
Jump to May 2023. 2 armed offenders robbed a Te Kuiti bank, and Phillips was later charged with aggravated robbery, aggravated wounding, and unlawfully possessing a firearm. That August, he was spotted multiple times across Waikato, at a Bunnings warehouse in disguise, and later abandoning his ute deep in bush near Te Awamutu. Fast forward to November 2023. Phillips and one of his children were the prime suspects in an attempted robbery of a Piopio Superette. 7 months later, in June 2024, police offered an $80,000 reward for information on the children's safe return. The offer expired and the children remained missing. By October, some young hunters captured video of Phillips and all 3 children trekking through rugged terrain north of Awa Merino. This was the first sighting of all 3 children together. Despite major searches, again, nothing was found. In August this year, his family went public, with his mother writing a heartfelt letter pleading for him and the children to come home. The Phillips family appeared on the first episode of Paddy Gower Has Issues.
There's a lot of love and there's a lot of support. And we're ready to help you walk through what you need to walk through. I miss you.
But days later, CCTV caught what was believed to be Phillips and one child once again breaking into a Piopio Superette before fleeing on a quad bike.
This will take as long as it takes. Our focus is to bring those children out safely. We're not going to get into a confrontation situation.
And today, September 8, 2025, he and one child ram-raided a PGG Wrightson's in Piopio. For 1,329 days, Phillips evaded capture while concerns for his children grew. But early this morning, it ended in the most unsatisfactory way.
This has been the outcome that no one wanted today.
A family that was torn apart by one member's attempt to keep it together. Now torn apart all over again.
Well, of course, a tragic end there with the death of Tom Phillips and the shooting of a police officer. But huge relief tonight that the 3 children, Jayda, Maverick and Ember, are all safe, the police say, uninjured and on their way for medical checks tonight. This will not be a long, drawn-out search operation. They are home and have been found.